Hello, everyone. Today I have an amazing story for you. It's not just for your listening practice, but also to inspire you. The story is called Nothing is Free, and it will show you that hard work and determination can truly change a person's life. There was a young man named Ethan, 20 years old, living in a quiet little town surrounded by green mountains. Ethan had big dreams. He wanted to own a chain of restaurants one day and become a successful entrepreneur. But life was far from easy for him. His family was struggling to make ends meet. His father, Robert, worked as a mechanic, and his mother, Lily, cleaned houses to help pay the bills. Ethan's younger sister, Grace, was only 10 and adored him like a hero. One cold evening, Ethan sat outside his small house, staring at the stars, whispering, "I want to give my family a better life, but how do I start when we barely have enough to survive?" The next day, Ethan talked to his father about his dream. Robert looked at him kindly and said, "Ethan, dreams are not free. If you want something, you must work for it. Start with what you have, even if it's small." Ethan thought about his father's words all night. Then he got an idea. People in his town loved to eat fresh bread, but the nearest bakery was very far away. Ethan thought, what if I sell bread here in my town? But there was one big problem. He had no money to buy the bread. Ethan decided to take a chance. He walked a long distance to meet the bakery owner, Mr. Brown, a grumpy old man who didn't trust people easily. Ethan smiled and said politely, "Mr. Brown, I want to sell your bread in my town, but I don't have money to buy it now. Can you trust me for 1 week? I will sell the bread, bring your money back, and keep just a little profit." Mr. Brown looked surprised. "Why should I trust you, young man?" he asked. Ethan answered confidently, "Because I will work hard. I will not let you down." After a moment of silence, Mr. Brown said, "All right, I will give you bread for 1 week. But if you don't pay me back, don't come here again." Ethan was so happy. Early the next morning, he carried the bread back to his town and set up a small stand near the park. He called out with a smile, "Fresh bread, warm and delicious." At first, people didn't believe him. They thought, "Who is this young man? Can his bread be good?" But Ethan offered free samples. The smell of warm bread filled the air. Soon, he got his first customer. By the end of the day, he sold all the bread. Ethan walked back to Mr. Brown and paid him every cent. The old man nodded slowly and said, "You kept your word. Come back tomorrow." From that day, Ethan worked harder than ever. He woke up at 4 a.m. every morning, walked to the bakery, carried the bread, and sold it with a bright smile. After 2 months, he saved enough money to buy a small cart. Now he could carry more bread and reach more people. One afternoon, a kind customer said, "Ethan, you are very good at selling, but why don't you bake your own bread? You could make more profit." Ethan liked the idea, but he felt scared. He had never baked before. Then he remembered his father's words. "Dreams are not free." He thought, "If I want to succeed, I must learn something new." The next day, he went to Mr. Brown again. "Sir," Ethan said, "can you teach me how to bake bread?" Mr. Brown frowned. "If I teach you, you won't buy from me anymore. That's bad for my business." Ethan smiled and said, "You're right. But I'll never forget the man who gave me my first chance. If I succeed, I'll help your bakery too." Mr. Brown looked at him for a moment and then said, "Fine. But baking is hard work. You must be patient and strong. So the lessons began. Every morning before sunrise, Ethan went to the bakery. Mr. Brown taught him how to mix flour, knead the dough, and bake the bread just right. At first, Ethan's bread came out too hard or too soft. His arms hurt from kneading. One day, he felt so tired and sad that he said to himself, "Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should stop." Then he remembered his father's voice. Dreams are not free. Ethan realized that mistakes are part of learning. He stood up, wiped his tears, and said, "I will not give up." He practiced every single day. Slowly, his bread became better. 2 weeks later, Mr. Brown smiled and handed him a loaf. "This is perfect, Ethan. You did it." Ethan was so happy. He rented a small oven and started baking bread at home. His mother, Lily, made tea for him every night. His little sister, Grace, helped pack the bread with care. Soon, Ethan was not only selling bread, he started making cookies and small cakes, too. People in town loved his products. They said, "Ethan's bread tastes better than any bakery." But success did not last easily. One day, a new bakery opened in town. It was owned by a young man named Eric. His shop was big and colorful. People were curious and started buying from him. Ethan's sales went down quickly. He felt worried and thought, "What if I lose everything?" But Ethan didn't give up. Instead, he asked his customers, "What do you like about Eric's bakery? What can I do better?" Some people said Eric's shop looked clean and pretty. Others said his cakes were beautifully decorated. Ethan listened carefully. Using his small savings, he painted his cart and made it look bright and cheerful. He added new decorations and offered free samples again. He also went to the library and watched videos on how to decorate cakes. Slowly, people started returning. One evening, an elderly woman said to him, "Ethan, many young people give up when life gets hard, but you didn't. That's why we trust you." Her words filled Ethan's heart with pride. Months later, Ethan had saved enough money to rent a small shop. It wasn't big like Eric's, but it was warm, cozy, and full of love. He called it Ethan's Fresh Bakes. Every morning before sunrise, he baked fresh bread and opened his shop with a big smile. His family helped him. Lily managed the money, and Grace, now 11, loved greeting the customers. His bakery became the heart of the town. People came not just for the bread, but because they liked Ethan's kindness. But one stormy night, something terrible happened. As Ethan was closing his shop, he smelled smoke. He ran inside and saw fire near the oven. He quickly poured water to stop it, but much of his equipment was burned. The next morning, the townspeople came and whispered, "Oh no, what will Ethan do now?" Some even said, "Maybe this is the end?" Ethan felt sad, but he refused to give up. He said loudly, "This is just a challenge. I've faced many before, and I will face this too." He checked his savings, but realized he didn't have enough to replace everything. Still, he didn't sit and cry. He went to visit Mr. Brown, who had retired. "Sir," he said, "what would you do if you were me?" Mr. Brown smiled gently. "Ethan, you already know the answer. Nothing is free. Work harder, believe in yourself, and others will believe in you too." Ethan thanked him and went home full of hope. He started baking again at home, using the few tools he still had. He told his customers, "I won't stop. Even if I can make only a little, I'll keep baking for you." The townspeople were touched. Some gave him flour and sugar. Others donated a little money, and a few helped him clean and repair his bakery. Ethan felt grateful and realized something beautiful. When you work hard and never give up, people see your effort and want to help. After months of hard work, Ethan's Fresh Bakes reopened. The walls were newly painted, the shop was brighter than ever, and he added new treats like cupcakes and muffins. On the grand opening day, the mayor came and said, "Ethan, you are an inspiration to us all. You've shown that anything is possible when you don't give up." Ethan smiled with tears in his eyes. He knew his journey wasn't just about bread. It was about courage, hope, and the power of never giving up. Ethan stood in front of the crowd with a bright smile and said, "Thank you, everyone. You have taught me something important. Nothing in life is free. Success, respect, and love must all be earned through hard work and patience. Never let failure stop you. Every problem is just a step to something greater." From that day on, Ethan's Fresh Bakes was more than a bakery. It became a place of hope for everyone in town. People came not only to buy bread, but to feel inspired by Ethan's story. Travelers from other towns also came to see the young man who never gave up. Ethan's journey teaches us simple but powerful lessons. Work hard, stay kind, learn from mistakes, and never give up. The darkest nights come before the brightest mornings. Whatever your dream is, keep chasing it, because nothing is free, but everything is possible